I'm doing an intro without even unmuting myself. Listen, I'm so excited. And I know you guys are excited. Those that are watching here live. We're going to cut on the Clubhouse because we want Clubhouse to join in on this conversation as we interview one of my people, one of my favorite people. Like, listen, y'all just don't understand. I'm a sucker for family and friends, and this guy's been in my life for many years, and I just wanted to just congratulate him on this new endeavor with his new book that's coming out. So I invited him on the show because I believe right now in this season, this is something that is needed by many of us. He is a man of God. He is a father. He is a veteran. And what better time to showcase him other than the month where we celebrate our vets, right? So the month of November. So, guys, I just want you guys to welcome Michael C. Biggs with open arms. We are live on Clubhouse. We are also live here on Facebook on two different stations, which is the Winning Circle podcast and also the TWC 24.7 podcast radio. Again, I am your host, Tiasha Janae, and we are live and active, and we are winning on the Winning Circle podcast today. So today we will be winning with, again, Michael C. Biggs. He is a first-time author of Finding Your 100%. Who don't want to find their 100%? Guys, listen, I can't wait to put my hands on this book. I've ordered mine. You might want to get your copy as soon as possible. I will definitely drop the links on all the platforms, including YouTube. We are live on YouTube, The Winning Circle. Go over there, hit the subscribe button, and follow us. Follow us and get to know these authors, these business owners, these ministers that are going to grace our platform from this day forward. So, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Shout out to Lavinia B. Barkley. Thank you. Hey, fam. Welcome and thanks for watching. Everybody on Clubhouse that will join in soon. Come on in. Come on in. So we're gonna bring our guest up, and we're gonna let him introduce himself like only he can. So you guys sit back, relax, and listen to what we have in store for you on today. Okay. Hey, Pops, how you doing?
Hey, Tiasha Janae.
Hello. I am so glad to have you on this show. I'm just cheesing from ear to ear, and I'm just grateful to have you here, and so we can learn about you and what you're doing in this season because you're a first time author. This is amazing. Did you
It
ever think
is
you
a
would be an author?
no. I always wanted to be, but in my book, I talk about why it took me so long.
Oh,
Yeah,
don't we take
yeah.
our time? Look, God be like, write that book, and we be
Oh
like,
yeah,
I don't know if that's for me. I might want to, but maybe later. I don't feel like I'm ready yet. So we have that going through our mind as a first time author. We're like, but we don't know how. And, all those things cross our minds and we, kind of put it on the back burner and say maybe later. But your later is today. And that is amazing. I'm just excited. I'm excited to get a copy in my hands. Yes.
absolutely.
So what I
Well,
want to do, I'm
well,
going to
just
move
a
out
little
the way.
bit about me.
I'm gonna move out the way so you can
Okay,
tell everybody about yourself. Okay. All right.
okay,
Go.
all right. Thanks everyone for joining in on this podcast. I'm excited to be here. Um, my life had many twists and turns. I was born in Columbus, Georgia, and at the age of 5, moved to Tarleton, Georgia, which is north of Columbus, and attended Ruth Carter High School Elementary School. And after integration, our school became Central High School. But while I was at Ruth Carter before integration, I was placed in special education because I am severely dyslexic. Okay, how severely dyslexic? Uh, Elna Chitty, who was my classmate, would always get A's on spelling tests. I would snatch a paper off her desk, copy what she had written. She would get an F, and I still would flunk. Okay. That's how severely dyslexic I am. I have Google asking me, dog, can you give me more than the first alphabet? I'm trying to help you out here. So, because I faced those early challenges and was placed in special ed, I did not know the gifts that God had given me. I only looked at what I couldn't do, and it limited me, especially during my high school years. But upon graduating from high school, and because of my athletic ability, I earned a scholarship to Clark to play basketball in Atlanta. Every school I've gone to, I'm so old they changed the name. It was Clark College when I was there, and now it's Clark Atlanta University. But I flunked out. To pass freshman English, you had to do a 500-word essay. You could only have 3 errors. But by the time I got through spelling my name, I probably had 3 errors already. So the Lord really laid on my heart to do what was just natural in my family as a fallback, which was my intentional goal before going to college, was to go into the military. Unfortunately, my father died on April 21st, 1976, the day I was due to sign my papers to go in the Navy. And my mom begged me not to leave. And I decided to go to college. And the same guidance counselor that put me in special ed at Ruth Carter was the same guidance counselor at Central High School where I graduated that even paid my application fee and got me into Clark. Mr. Chitty, Richard Chitty, those from Talbot County know him, and most people from Muskogee County. He really believed in students, and he really poured into my life. And after flunking out in college and going in the military, I will never forget October 11th, 1977. I was praying under a weeping willow tree at F Company in San Antonio, Texas, going through AIT. And I was about to flunk out of that program. I was in preventive medicine, which was very technical. We did nuclear, chemical, biological, commutable disease. We were CDC with an M16. And I prayed that day. And I've never had a supernatural experience like that from that day to this day. And I asked God if He would give me the ability to learn. And it's as if my skull was peeled back and I could see formulas and languages and math just flowing into my brain. And that next day was the most difficult test to pass to graduate from my AIT, Advanced Individual Training. And it was about bionomics, the life cycles of insects. And to this day, I can tell you the life cycle of mosquitoes, cockroaches, any arthropod that commuted diseases. God gave me that ability to hold that information. From that day forward, I would go on and retake my GT test, which determines what you're qualified to do in the military. And after that day, a year later, I took that test, and my score went from, I think it was a 91 to 141. And now I can assalamu alaikum, salaikum salam, kefalik wahum dilalam, mada afiari, shukran Sheila Hamdadar Adashi, Ipuda Ajima. Oh, ich lerne Deutsch in Klassenzimmer in Germany. Ich lebe in Germany 3 Jahre gewesen. Ich bin ein Amerikaner Gesundheits in Bundeswehr. He who could not learn was able to learn 3 languages and to communicate in 3 different continents. It was nothing but a miracle. I would go on to score 100% on my skills qualification test. Less than 1% of the military scores 100% at that time on the skills qualification test, the SQT. They no longer give it because so many people failed it. And this covered all of the math and science. You couldn't use calculators. And we had some pretty sophisticated formulas. And God allowed me again to show that I had achieved an academic level I never dreamed of. And in closing on my military career, this hat, Expert Field Medical Badge. If 100 soldiers or airmen or Marines or whoever goes out for this badge, if 100 people go out, no more than 17 to 20 will earn it. The most difficult badge in the military to earn at this point. This badge represented on the battlefield my abilities that if my soldier got wounded, no matter what, withering fire, worse weather conditions, I was going to render aid and get that person to help as fast as I could to save limb or life. that commitment that I showed in the military is a commitment I showed in ministry. I entered the ministry. I actually pastored as a chaplain because there was a shortage of black chaplains in Germany and Korea. And I was able to pastor in the chapel and even had services outside of the base. And many times I had to preach with an interpreter. And God really blessed our services. After leaving the military, the hardest adjustment, I won't go into all those details, it's in the book, because I did suffer from PTSD and didn't know it, and I was fighting it, didn't want to be labeled mentally ill because I had seen what had happened to my mom, who had mental health issues, and how the system abused her, and how that label just was a detriment to her life and her career. But I would go on to work with people with disabilities eventually. I would start my own agency. I would start the first alternative school in Meriwether and Pike County, and eventually the first charter school in Georgia. And in closing in my intro, one of the things about this book that I'm so happy about is that the State of Georgia Charter School Association has written me out of the history books. Talbot County was the first county with a from scratch charter school, and they have not given me any recognition for it, but I'm working to make sure we rectify that. But all of this happened with a person with a bachelor's degree in social science, no degrees in education, no degrees in finance. I've probably written over $5 million in grants. But God used my fish and my loaves and has multiplied it into other people's lives who had greater abilities and talents than I did. In closing, I even made the captain of the basketball team at my high school, Central High School, Go Hawks. Not because I was the best basketball player. Any of my teammates would tell you, no, I was not the best. But I brought out the best in all of my teammates. And that is the mantra of my life, not only to find my 100%, but how can I help others find their 100%?
My God. See, I'm sitting here, I'm just cheesing. That is amazing. That's amazing. And it's funny because a lot of people have this thought process that, they're inadequate, or that they are not enough, and that they can't succeed or excel or go beyond the talk of others, what others might say or do, or how they feel about you, or things of that nature. And just to see you, persevere and push through the stigmas that they have over people that are dyslexic, people that have learning disabilities, people that deal with mental illnesses. These things right here are so important right now that we sweep things under the rug. And I like to tell people that when you sweep things under the rug, eventually that hump gets so high that you eventually fall over that hump, you know, as you're walking on that rug. And so we have to be mindful of, I like to say, word curses that we speak over ourselves. I am this, I am that. So I love that. Finding your 100%. That is awesome. I'm excited to help myself to read in this book and find my 100% too. So when they get here, man, I'm telling you,
Absolutely.
I'm dropping the link. Lavinia, Coach Lovey is what I like to call her. She said, please do. I would like a copy. So she's going to get a copy. I'm going to send her your flyer so she knows how to get a copy of your book
Absolutely.
directly. She said your story is beautiful. And Pamela
Thank
Nichols
you.
says that you are a great speaker. I mean, I was listening like, what is he saying? Oh my goodness. I just love that. Different languages. How you go from them saying you're dyslexic to, I mean, that's nothing but God. And I love that too, because the way God shows up and shows out, it's nobody but him. Nobody can do it but him, right? So that's big. That's
Nobody
really,
but God could have touched.
yes.
Sis, I graduated at the bottom of my high school class, 103, and I was 103rd.
Wow.
And by the time I got through rewiring my brain to learn how to learn differently than others, I graduated from Troy State, which is now Troy University. Every school I'm telling you I went to, I'm so old they changed the name. I graduated with a 3.4 average. Um,
Wow.
I learned how to do SAS. Joyce Lear, I never will forget Lear. She actually got me tested in Korea and discovered and got it documented that I was dyslexic. And how I would take a essay test, I would write down my spelling words I knew I needed to use in that essay, and I would keep it in front of me until they said, "Put away your papers."
Hmm.
Start the test. I take a blank sheet out and rewrite the words because I draw words. I don't spell words. I have no phonological awareness to go from what I hear to what I write. So I look at a
Hmm.
word like a stop sign and I draw stop. I draw whatever the word is that I'm trying to spell. So I have used these different techniques that I've learned on how to overcome my dyslexia, even at the graduate level. I'm just being lazy. I was only 3 classes for my master's, and now I'm 5 because they changed the curriculum. But even on the
Hmm.
master's level, I've been able to excel on essay writing because of the different techniques of writing backwards. Now, but that doesn't mean I'm perfect because I'm going to tell you why. Sometimes I call it getting happy handed. I was on a blog one time and they were talking about charter schools. And I wrote my comment and didn't use spell check. And someone
Uh-huh.
responded by saying, "I hope to God your students are more intelligent than you are."
Oh,
It
wow.
hit me so hard that I literally left the campus, went to the chapel, and got in the fetal position and felt like I was a fraud, a fake. And then God spoke to me and said, "Get up." And I went back in and I typed in these words. Now I know how a person without vision feels when they go into a new room without their cane. I said, it's
Mm.
not what I have and my abilities, but it's the abilities that I have ignited in my students that far exceed my limitations. And people responded like crazy to that response.
My God.
But those are those kind of moments I talk about in the book, that these voices come in and we're allowed to beat us down, and we give them the power to
Mm.
determine what our percent is.
See, I love that. And see, that's very important. Um, very important in today's um world that we're living in, because a lot of people are being just that, pushed down, knocked down, told again what they can't do, what they can do, and they're putting limited beliefs on us, and that's not the word of God. God says abundance and dominion. God says that we can have all things through Him who gives us strength. He gives us the power to trample over scorpions and just do whatever we want to do. Like, not whatever we want to do, but He gives us power in our hands. And so,
Absolutely.
where one person lacks, another person is stronger. And so when we come together, and that's why, you know, people say autistic, I say artistic, because I believe that we all have an art, we all have a gift, we all have the gift of creativity that comes from God. And as He speaks to us and through us, He allow us to be more powerful than we can even see ourselves as being. And so, with that story, what you
Absolutely.
just told us, that's very powerful. And that people can be so cruel to just say things that, and you're not there. You're on the outside looking in just because you saw an error. And majority of us make errors. None of us is perfect under the sun. You know,
Exactly.
and so
And I
that
think
we have to glean from one another.
yeah, that's a good place for me to share my favorite poem with you,
Okay.
that Theodore Roosevelt, the former president, wrote. And it
Okay.
goes, "The man in the arena. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how strong the strong man stumbles, or where the door of deeds could have been done better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marked with dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there's no effort without error and shortcomings. But who does actually strive to do the deeds? Who knows the great enthusiasm, the great devotion? Who spends himself in a worthy cause? Who is the best? Who at the best knows in the end triumph or high achievement, and at the worst, if he fails, at least while doing greatly. So this place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat.
My God, I like that. I like that poem. You got to share that with us. Put it in the post, in a comment or something. That's an amazing poem. Uh, Coach Lovey says, "You are a
Mhm.
powerful light in this world, King Mike. Thank you for sharing your story, sir. I look forward to reading your book. Thank you." And then she says, correction, we all make mistakes. And she's absolutely right. No, again, nobody is perfect under the sun.
Absolutely.
Nobody. And then Pamela says, the man in the arena is awesome and so true. So I love that. Keep the comments
Mhm.
coming. Keep the comments coming. Just shout out to those that are here that are listening in. Again, just to reset the room, we are the Winning Circle podcast right here on TWC 24.7 Podcast Radio. And we are interviewing Michael C. Biggs, the first time author of Finding Your 100%. He is a veteran and he's a father. He's a loving man of God. And you guys, you got to get the copy of his book. Check out our Facebook pages, Instagram once we post up, YouTube. I will drop the link so that you all will have access to get a copy of his book. Make sure that you get a copy because we all need to continue to figure out and find our 100%. Here on the winning circle, everybody's a winner. So he walked into the winning territory. So we're going to welcome him in to the winning circle family and we're going to support him 100%. Also, take a moment, look down below. You'll see his Facebook page, facebook.com/vet talk with Mike. Vet, VET, talk with Mike, and go follow him. Go be friends with him. Go connect with him. I'm sure there are something that you guys can connect on. He has so many gifts, so many talents, so much vision. Listen, you don't want to not be connected, okay? So get connected. And so back to our interview. I'm just really excited. I wanted to find out how did you how did you come up with a title with Finding Your 100%? Where did that come from?
My whole life, I've had consciousness. I've had consciousness about God. I've had consciousness about my shortcomings and how I fail God. And through that process, and it comes with age and maturity. Um, I saw God use a process throughout the scriptures in calling people with various talents and abilities. I chuckle at when they try to pick who's the greatest basketball player. Is it Mike? It's LeBron and all that. Every one of those athletes, as well as those Christians and Jewish people in the Bible, each one had other attributes that God really loved and used to promote the kingdom. And I'm just going to pull one out. I'm going to pull David out as an example. I preached a sermon on a Veterans Day about David not being treated for his PTSD. When David came off the battlefield and was no longer active in warfare, he went on a balcony, saw a woman naked and taking a bath, and made a proposition and eventually killed her husband to have her and a child. Began to drink excessively, forgot his principles and his morals. Why would God call him a man after his own heart with that resume? Because God loves us and knows what we go through and what we're enduring. And God knew what David had went through. And it wasn't labeled as PTSD at that time, But God knew that he was not sick in body, but he was sick in spirit. The problem I have with Christianity is we want to kill our fellow brothers and sisters who are sick in spirit and living outside of the will of God, as opposed to pray them through and follow the dictates of the 14th, 15th, 16th chapter, where it is the Holy Spirit's responsibility to convict of sin and righteousness. If I see my brother or sister stumbling, I pray in the spirit that God will bring them to a healing as much as I would if I saw them with a limb or a wound, and I would run to them to render first aid on a body. We don't know how to render spiritual aid to people who are hurt and wounded. So this book is about what we can do individually to be healers in our communities, to
That's
really
right.
be a part of God's helping ministry. And I don't preach in the pulpit anymore. I can't wait to get some invites because I miss it. But I live a sermon every day. Every chance I get, every morning before I go in that classroom, I pray. And I'm in a position where I'm a career coach at an alternative school that I don't have to follow the traditional teaching methods of teach, test, teach, test. We can teach, test, and figure out why someone is not doing well and address those issues that in a regular school they don't have time for. We'll identify a crisis a child is in, but we are limited in knowing how can we bring a resource to that child. How them have a parent incarcerated, a parent on drugs, parents who are divorcing, uh, parents who may have lost their jobs or have illness. All these years of experience, I learned how to gather those resources, even if they are secular, and know that God will bless them and address those needs in their life. So my book is about inspiring us not only to find our 100%, but how can we in turn be more powerful in helping other people find their 100%?
That's right. Coach Lovey says, true story, sir. We are of God, but we are not God. I speak about the health of our spiritual dimensions. It needs to be a priority, and a new narrative must be created. Let's grow, Mike. So she ready to grow. Now, I'll tell you a little bit about Coach
Amen.
Lovey. She works with the men. She is the men's coach, okay? And she is very phenomenal at what she does, and I love that about her. And she's actually going to be on our show really soon with her new book, Heart Work. So she actually talks about that heart work. And this is just, it's so phenomenal
Absolutely.
that you guys are like, listen, y'all need to get together. Y'all need to talk. Y'all need to communicate. I'm telling
Absolutely.
you, I feel connections right there. And like I said, on the winning circle, we are a circle. We are a unit. We are a family. We are connected. We do not break the circle, the bond. So once you're here on this platform, you are
Amen.
a part of the winning team. And where you lack, another will pick up the pieces. And so that's just where I am. And as I was talking earlier, I was talking about how we are all artistic, not autistic. We're artistic because we are creatives. And when I think about the word autistic, and how their label is puzzle pieces. I am so a firm believer of the puzzle pieces and how we are connected. And each one of us are a splinter of God. And so as we take those pieces of you, the piece of me, Lovey, Pamela, whoever else is watching on this live today, and those that we're connected to, as we all connect the pieces together, we form God. We're not God ourselves, but we have a piece of Him in our spirit, in our lives, that once we are all connected, once we help those who are supposed to be helped by us, because we know that our test is our testimony, and our mess is our message, and our history is His story. All of that works together for the good of
Amen.
those that love the Lord. And so we are geared to reach the masses. We are here to tell the world about our trials and our tribulations, our tests, and our everything that we've been through, because their healing is tied up into what we have to offer. And this book has your testimony in it. And everything that's in there, it wasn't for you. Yes, you went through the process, but how long it took you to go through that process, you can go help somebody else. And that's what you're doing right now, helping other people go through that process and not have to feel like they're neglected or left alone or like they're the only ones going through it. You can now say, hey, I've been through this. God did it for me. He's going to do it for you. He has no respect of person. And I just love that. I love it. That's why I'm a firm believer in writing. I'm a firm believer in connections and collaborations because we need to come together just for such a time as this, you know. And Coach Lovey says, yes, ma'am, we are here to be of service to one another in our hearts and in our purpose. Yes, 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 yes. And she sends flowers. Yes.
I love it.
Yes. Uh-huh. So,
With Lovey, you know, one more example of how God uses different people in different ways. People don't realize why we have four gospels. Okay, Matthew approaches the legitimacy of Jesus uh, by showing his historical connection, which was a Jewish requirement in the scripture. So and so begat, who begat, who begat, who begat. So he establishes Jesus' calling by historical genealogy. Luke established Jesus's authenticity by using logic. He writes, "O Theophilus, I write this unto you that you may believe, because I have examined these things concerning him." Luke was a physician, so he used logic to prove who Jesus was. Good old John was all about love. I'm going to tell you why Jesus, because for God so loved the world.
Yes,
he without sin cast stone. And then my good friend Mark, and I use Mark as the last one because I write like Mark. Mark had the worst Greek in the New Testament. He started with what he did. Jesus is so bad. You get bit by a dog, he'll heal you. Jesus did, dog, is all about what Jesus did was Mark's message in the gospel. So I'm a Markian writer. So don't look for the eloquency and the specificity of a Luke. Don't look for everything to be an emotional display as John would have. And definitely don't look to me being as traditional as the writer of the book of Matthew was. But within my gifted set, I gave my best. And God uses all of us in our books, in our messages, to reach people that hear us in our language. People who are intellectual, there are a lot of people that can receive the word from them. More traditional, people that receive it, who need to have emotional connections. There are people who does that so well.
Yeah, I believe that.
Those who need to minister, I staff, that's my, if it's somewhere dangerous and somewhere that's a trial, send me. I wouldn't do fair,
Yeah. Yeah, I see a glitch on my end. I'm not sure if that's just me. I'm not sure. Am I frozen on your end? Let's see. Those that are watching, please let me know
Here
if you can still hear him speaking.
in the language of the writer, in the language of the speaker.
I hope that you were able to catch all of that, guys. I heard bits and pieces of it on my end. I'm not sure if it's, the interference of technology, or if on my end or what. But I just want to make sure that you guys caught that. If not, we will bring him back so we can get some more from him. But can you hear me? Are you able to hear me still? I can't hear you. Let's see. Let me take you down for a minute. We'll be right back. Give us one moment. Hello, can you hear me now? Are you able to hear me? You can hear me, but you can't hear Mike. Okay, I'm not sure what happened. You want to go out and come back in? See if you can log out and log back in. If you can hear me. Oh, I hear you now. It's like a delay.
That's one.
Huh? I don't know. It's like I hear you and then it goes in and out. You want to log out and log
Can you
back
hear
in.
me, Tasha?
I can hear you, but it's a delay. It's a little delay. Guys, we're gonna give him a second so he can revamp, so he can go out and come back in. But in the meantime, guys, I hope you guys are really listening to the man of God and his word. I mean, he's just so phenomenal. I love it. I love him. I love his spirit. And again, I'm gonna make sure I post the information. I'm checking on the back room here to see if he's able to log out and log back in. But we want to make sure y'all can hear him when he's speaking his words, because he got some good things to say, and we want to find out a little bit more. You enjoying the conversation? I'm glad. I am so glad. So glad. That is so awesome. But man, guys, listen, if you guys, I just go ahead and do my exit while we wait on him to come in. But I, want to make sure that I invite people to come and join us here on the Winning Circle. If you are in ministry and you have a testimony, you are an author and you want to be a part of the show, and tell people about your book that's releasing, or that that's either already out or coming out. We can do a new relaunch for you. Just come on in. We are here waiting on you to be a part of what we have to offer. Also, if you're interested in writing your own book and just don't know where to start, I'm your girl. Come to twcclubacademy.com /first word Amazon bestseller. This link right here will get you in the door to the Journey Publishing Company. That is me, of course, your girl, and Mary Moss and Leslie George. And we're going to get you from your very first word, the title of your book, the cover, everything in between, all the way to Amazon #1 bestseller. So if you're interested, again, you will go to www.twclubacademy.com, and then you would look for first word to Amazon bestseller. Or you could just type this link exactly like it is and take you directly to where you need to go so you can be a part of the community and we can get you going, because writing is so phenomenal and it is the best experience in my life. Not even just being an Amazon bestseller, but just knowing that you are able to write your story, your testimony, and get that word out there that God has called you to do. And it is going to heal souls and heal lands. So keep that in mind. All right. So are we back? Can you hear me now? I see a smile, so I guess that's a yes. I don't know. We keep freezing though. He got the most contagious smile, guys. Listen. Can you hear us? I can't hear you. I don't know why I can't hear you.
I'm back.
There, I heard that. I'm back. Oh, you had headphones on?
Hear you.
Maybe that's what it was. I don't know. I heard I'm back though.
I can hear you.
Okay.
I can hear you.
Okay. Well, guys, listen, y'all bear with us through this interview.
Can
I'm going to continue to
you hear
ask
me
him the
now?
questions. I can. I can hear you. I think you just muted yourself though. But I can hear you now. It's just delayed. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna ask the question, and then when you hear it, you just go ahead and go in and answer it. So it may be a delay, but y'all just bear with us, okay? So I wanted to ask you what do you want the results of this book to bring to the community or to others? You got to unmute yourself though. You know this got to be good. The enemy fighting these airwaves today. You got it muted, Pops. These airwaves, these airwaves. You got to unmute. I can't do it on my end. You have to do it. Okay, we're gonna give him a second so he can get it together here. I don't know what's going on, but we may have to bring him back for an additional interview here because we got to hear this stuff from him. He got some stuff to say, right? So we're gonna keep trying. We're not giving up yet. We still got time. Let's see. You trying to get in from another device? The airwaves don't wanna be great to us today. So I think he's trying to come in from another device. Let's see. Let's see. Bear with us, guys. This is where I need some entertainment. Somebody could come on and entertain you guys on today. So we'll take a mini break here and see if we can get him to get back on. So we'll do our intro video again. How about that? Give y'all something to look at other than me. All right, guys. Look, make sure you guys go like and share and comment and subscribe and all of the good things that we can do because it costs nothing to share. Thank you so much, Lovey. She says, I'm patiently waiting. I appreciate that so much because this man here, I'm telling you, I'm not just bragging just to be bragging. This man got some knowledge and some wisdom. I want him to share that with you guys. So he's back. Let's see if we can get him on the air. Hello, hello. Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. I can hear you now. It's still a delay, but I can hear you. So did you catch my question that I asked you? Were you able to hear me? Mm, you don't want to let us be great. Okay, guys. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I could hear him, and then he freezes again. Okay, disconnected again. So I guess it's the internet. So we may do a part 2 to this and see if you want to come back maybe tomorrow or Saturday and finish his interview because I want him to get all his interview out. It's just not fair. You know, people pay for their slots here and I want them to get every bit of their space attained and spoken for. And you know, internet just don't want us to be great today. Let's see. We're gonna try one more time. I'm still bringing them back though. By the way, hello. They'll let you log in, but it has you frozen. Let me see if I take.
Wow.
Okay, I heard wow.
I can hear and see you.
Perfect. That's good. Okay. So tell them what you want the results of this book to bring. Can you hear me? Nope, I can't hear you. It's probably gonna come later. The sound.
Can everyone hear me?
Yep, it comes later. So I'm gonna be quiet. I put the question in the chat box. I'm gonna be quiet and I'm just gonna let you talk. How about that?
Can you hear?
Yep, we can hear you. Oh no.
Can you hear me? Tiasha, Janae,
Yes, I can hear you.
I can hear you. I can. I can hear
Okay.
you.
Okay. So did you see the question?
Are you able to hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
my heart, my heart. Okay. All right. Ask the question. I'm scared to touch the screen.
Okay. So what do you want to you want the results of this book to bring to people?
Okay. Let me find the question. What was your question, if you can hear me?
Yes, what do you want to be the result of this book?
Okay. I don't know if I'm answering the right question. Okay. The result of me writing this book and people reading it, I hope is twofold. The way I've written this book, you can take your stories and insert them where I've written stories about my life experience. Because God works the same in all of our lives. I want you to be inspired to dig deeper into your gifts, abilities, and talent and bring those fish to the Lord. Let Him bless it and distribute them. I did, and I thought I was answering it. But if everyone can hear me, okay, my goal is for people to see their lives through my life experience and be able to insert their circumstances situation and to see God help them through and to be to go even deeper into that 100% and to be able to encourage others to walk within the full giftedness that God has given each of us.
That's awesome. I like that. I like that. Yeah, and you did answer that question. I know it's like a delay, so I hope I'm not cutting them off.
Okay. I hope y'all can hear it this time because I don't know if I can say it the same. This will be
They
my
don't have to
third
be the
attempt.
same. It don't have to even be the same if you said, but we heard it.
I
I
want
think it
people
probably picked up a lot
to
better than what we heard it. So when we
put
watch the replay, then we'll
life
know.
experiences into the stories that I write about. See how God has used their life experiences and inspired them to find a deeper meaning to their 100%.
This show right here give you practice, Dad.
Empowered, changed lives.
Yes. Awesome. So what we gonna do though, we're gonna bring you back. We're gonna make sure that you come back, and we're gonna do this again, and make sure that we don't have this interference on our airwaves when we do it, because there's so much more I want to ask you, but the
Can you
internet is just glitching really
still
really
hear me?
bad. I can hear you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I think we might still be on the delay.
Yeah. Yes, there was a delay. But it's okay though. We're gonna do this again. So we'll make sure we reschedule you and we do it again. Next time we're gonna pray. We're gonna pray in, we're gonna pray out because we want God to move on this broadcast. I want you to be able to pour your heart out, to people that you're interested in getting this book to. And so in order to do that, we can't be having no interference. The devil is a lie. And I rebuke him from where he came. He can go right on back because not here. So let me know, a good time. We could do this again. I would not mind doing a repeat of our episode so that we can get that word out to people. Oh, I love you. So thank you
I
so much.
one heard my answer. If you heard it, text in the box and let me know if you heard what I said.
Okay. I heard you, Pops. It's so delayed. But thank you guys that came on to watch. I will still drop the links below. Make sure you go follow him right now
I
at
hope everyone can hear
facebook.com.
me. But
Mm-hmm.
I've written this book and given all honor to God for what He's done in my life and how He's allowed me, the least and the last amongst His people, to be called into servitude to our ministry of sharing the gospel. I hope I will inspire others to get their book written, to add our voices to the masses. They need to hear a message and a word of affirmation.
I love it. I love that. I love that. So y'all heard him. He said he hopes that it inspires you guys to write your own book.
Affirmation God could have given us.
Yeah.
John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten
Mhm.
son. The
That's right.
Greek word is cosmos, unsaved world, created world, and redeemed world enough.
All right, guys, listen. So I think that ended that broadcast. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna have a part two. We're bringing him back, guys. We're not gonna leave him out like that. He um he is very interested in letting you guys know what he has and what he is doing in this season. And it is just amazing when someone is doing something that we support one another. And I appreciate you guys for watching here on Facebook, on YouTube, and those that popped in and out of Clubhouse. So with that being said, you are listening to the Winning Circle podcast with yours truly, Tiasha Janae, your host, and we are on TWC 24.7 Podcast Radio. We just finished interviewing Michael C. Biggs, first time author of Finding Your 100%. So I will leave this broadcast up. However, we're going to do a redo. We're going to do a retake because the internet just didn't want to do right for him today. And we want to give him his due diligence. He put this work out. He did what God called him to do, and it is meant to reach the masses. And so I want to do my part to contribute to that. And so thank you guys again for coming in, for joining, watching, listening to this broadcast. If you are watching the replay, please go hashtag replay. Let me know that you watched it, and if you purchased the book, drop a comment in the bottom after I post it and say, hey, I just got my book for a chance to win a gift from me. You guys, listen, it's about support right now. And so I want you guys to always know that every month here on the Winning Circle, we're going to start giving out prizes for those who are sharing the most, those who are subscribed to all channels, those who are collaborating with people that they meet in here. We're going to start showcasing that. We're going to start sharing um, knowledge and wisdom and power and growth and development and all of that. Just listen, we're going to do a lot here on the Winning Circle. So just stay tuned. God is doing a new thing in this season and he's using me to do it. So we're going to get it done. No hesitation. And I'm just excited to do it with you guys because who else other than my tribe to do this with? This is the journey that he has me on, and I'm going to enjoy the ride, the ups, the downs, the bumps, the bruises. We're going for it, right? So again, thank you for tuning in, for watching. Sorry the show kind of went a little different, but we're going to do a part two. So tune in and listen out for the next flyer that comes out for our next guest, as well as part two to this guest. So talk to you soon. Bye for now.